our state is one of the most attractive places in America to not only to move and to move companies to, but to visit. And we have a lot of visitors here. We're really grateful for it. So we're celebrating that today.
Where do we go from here? Obviously, number one, but how do we build on this brand?
I think one of the things that's important that we remember is that we've got to invest. We've got to invest in tourism, but we've also got to invest in infrastructure, which is why we, for example, passed the Transportation Modernization Act. We've got to invest in broadband. We've got to invest in the things that will allow businesses to expand and more visitors to come here, to create more opportunity, more jobs, a better life for Tennesseans.
You brought up a big point about infrastructure. We all know on a busy weekend it's hard to move around in Sevier County, plus we need to get people off the interstate.
That's right.
Where do we stand with the 408 interchange?
You know, the 408 interchange is a perfect example of why we needed the Transportation Modernization Act that we passed this year and tied $3 billion of funding to that. We're getting behind in road development in the state. That's why we've made that investment, and interchanges like that one will see the funding sooner so that we can improve congestion and traffic from one end of the state to the other.
Lawmakers are headed back to the state capitol in August. What are you hoping to get out of this special session, as well as has anything changed from when the legislative session ended a couple weeks ago?
I think there's a real broad agreement that we need to find a way to separate those who are a danger to themselves or to others from access to weapons and protect the Second Amendment rights of Tennesseans at the same time. That is the balance, and that is the strategy that we're going to use going forward. We have to find a way to do that. I think we can. I've asked lawmakers to consider options. We'll be working on that all summer long, and I think we'll find an answer to that.
Real quick, can you just speak to our viewers? There's a way that they can give input and help lawmakers draft legislation.
There is. We have put a place for public comment. You know what? Let me get the email address. You have it?
We can get it to you.
I wouldn't mind saying it out loud to y'all. Why don't you want to check and see if you can get it before the end of this, or no?
It doesn't sound like a link.
It's not a link. All right. So, yes, we want feedback from the public. And in fact, in our press release yesterday, we had a place where the public can link and give public comment. We want to hear from people all over Tennessee about what they think and how it is that we should responsibly deliver legislation that protects rights, that protects the people from those that are harmed to them. We need public input.
With regards to the Tennessee, the third grade retention law, have you heard from parents, and what's your message to them?
What we know is that if a child can't read by the time they get to fourth grade, the outcomes for that child are bleak. And we know one of the worst things we can do is move a child forward from third grade to fourth grade without being able to read. And I think parents understand that. We're providing broad support for children. The goal is to make sure that no one is retained, that in fact what happens out of this is that kids learn to read at a greater rate than ever. We've made huge investments in literacy across the state. We're real hopeful for those outcomes.
I have one more question. When you ride down that parkway, what do you think?
I think that Tennessee is one of the most attractive places in America, and it's evident by the number of folks that are here. I think that we have to continue to make investments in infrastructure so that economic growth can continue in this region. I think that there's a lot of hope for the future of this state based on the number of people moving here, the number of companies moving here, the number of visitors that spend their dollars here, and the need for us to think in the future about that so more Tennesseans will have an opportunity here.
There was a movement on social media to boycott Tennessee after some of the events of the past few months. Do you think that will actually wind up having an impact on tourism here? And is there anything the state's doing to try and make sure that it doesn't?
I think that the fact that we have moved from the 14th biggest spend in public dollars for tourism to the 11th in the country. We have the most visited national park in America. People are moving here, visiting here, and coming here in record numbers because this state is a very attractive place to be. You know, we are the lowest tax per capita state in America, the lowest debt per capita state in America. We believe that people can have access to opportunity here like no other place in America, and I think that's why they're coming. All right.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Is that you? All right, y'all. I'll let y'all. Is that yours? All right.
Thank you.
I think you've got mine.
You think that's
That's mine. Severe, that's mine.
all right?